Okay, Sunday, January the 27th, and the year marches on down at Borough Green. Just about to undertake Book 1, Walk 36, which is from here to Sevenoaks, around about 9.5 miles. Pretty nice day thus far. Pretty late start at the moment because, as you can see, there's a replacement bus there. I've had to get that down from Sevenoaks, so kind of protracted the journey a bit. It's around 11:30 now, but it should be okay for time. It's a pretty stiff breeze today, about 20 knots, so we'll definitely be using the old wind canceller today. Aside from that, there's a co-op here at the station for those that need to know that, topping up on sandwiches, etc. So, let's get cracking. Just realised that I finished a walk here a few weeks ago. Can't remember which one it was, but I recognise it now. So, just opposite the church, we've got the landway here with its footpath marker. Our onward journey is down this residential street. Point 4 of the text, following the footpath between fences, and someone has rather amusingly altered that sign to show no motorcycles. Continuing with point 4, the path between fences, or certainly a wooden fence on the left and a wire fence on the right. The footpath today is extremely muddy, following the thaw plus overnight rain, so you get a double whammy. Continuing with point 4, having just crossed the road after 280 metres, and on my right looks like we've got a former chalk pit or something, now overgrown with trees. And thus far, this walk is the reverse of the one that I did the other week to Borough Green. As I say, can't remember which walk that was, but not to worry. This weekend, of course, is the RSPB's birdwatch count, where everyone's asked to observe birds in their garden for an hour. Well, as I don't have one, I shall try and do a bit out here. All I'm hearing thus far are blue tits and great tits marking out their territories. There you go. Crossing over the stone bridge mentioned in the text. It is actually interesting to catch this walk from a different direction to the last time I did it. As you can see here, water is extremely high, as you'd imagine after flood or thaw. Point 5 of the text. Firstly, the wide grassy bank, chaffinch there. Basted Mill Woodland Walks information board. And there is a bird there that I don't recognise. That one. And the lake referred to in the text, with some very tame coot. Normally they're very shy and retiring and fly off. They'll certainly scamper off when you get near them. Anyway, these seem to be familiar with this little jetty that I'm stood on, probably expecting food. And the omnipresent mallard. So again, water level a lot higher than last time I was here a few weeks ago, and a lot muddier, indicating flow off the fields, etc. Yeah, the stream certainly seems to be a lot more forceful than last time I was here. And as I say, a lot muddier in colour as well. We're now following this quiet lane along Basted Mill. As I say, I haven't seen those kind of signs since I was on Jersey. Some tiny fragments reminding us of the weather we had last weekend. Mr. Snowman's rapidly melting away. Turning right here, off Plough Hill into Mill Lane, which is a bridleway, and I do hear horses behind me, so I'm expecting this to be extremely muddy at some point. 6 of the text, this is where the muddy section starts, I'm pretty sure. Of course, we're now onto a fresh walk. We would have turned off by the weir on the previous walk that I did in this area, so now the scenery should be pretty new. And it is indeed a quagmire with the river just on the left and a pretty well flooded woodland on the right. I'm down here doing this walk today because I've only got 4 left to do in book 1. This is one of them, and was the easiest to access, bearing in mind the various transport permutations. Also, one of them can only be done on a weekday, which is the Ockley to Warnham walk. So soon have book 1 completed. Interesting, on my right here you've got a pond that's actually higher than the footpath, which is why there's an earth bank stopping the overflow. No birds. Ah, having said that, there's a little coot there. Gathering nesting materials by the looks of it. 7 of the text. No concrete marker any longer, but avoid turning right here. Continue along the muddy footpath with the wire fence and concrete post to your left. Ignore that turning left with the bridge over the stream. Delightful walking at the moment. It's incredibly mild actually compared to last week. About 9-10 degrees at the moment. But certainly is a muddy section of walk, as you'd expect on a day like today, following the thaw. Leaving the restricted byway, come out to this lane where we take a right uphill. Of course, you've got a full flow today, but I bet it's not too many weeks before the government and local authorities are talking about drought restrictions again. Absolute madness, the water maintenance in this country. We need to sort it out and get a national grid organised, as I continue to say. 9 of the text, and I'm just about to do a left over the stile into the orchard, and just filming this fine bit of hedgerow, which is one of the reasons why the bullfinch has disappeared, because it's not maintained in the way that the bullfinch likes, apparently. Although this one doesn't look too bad, hasn't got all the jagged edges of a machine cut one. I bet this was interesting last weekend with the snow. Probably banked up in here, but the whole point of the hedge is to protect the road from that. Blackbird and chaffinch to add to my collection. So clearly not organic. onward journey straight ahead. Sun's against me, so I can't raise the camera any higher as that blackbird chirps out its warning note. It wasn't a blackbird, could well have been a fieldfare, but didn't get a good look at it, but it certainly wasn't a blackbird. Similar warning note though. Evidence there that the birds have been having a field day, or a field winter, nibbling away at the fallen apples, which, as I say, it's a disgrace that they've been allowed to fall and rot like that. That's why orchards are disappearing. We're not self-sufficient at all. Terrible. Now that's interesting. That's one of the mystery birds that's making that chirping noise. I can't tell what it is at the moment. Could well be a fieldfare, but one for me to check out later. They certainly do like orchards and apples. Won't be here much longer either. Back to their Scandinavian haunt. Ten of the text, having left the orchard now, just about to cross over this wooden bridge and up beyond on the hill. Views back from the enclosed path mentioned in point 11 of the text. What a very pleasant morning it is. Well, afternoon just now. Yep, just confirming the time for me. Views back from point 12 of the text. Great tit in the distance, marking out his territory. I think it's a great tit, could be a warbler. Further fine views from the lane that we're walking up in point 12 of the text. Lovely thing about this walk today is there's not much jet noise. Interesting how that works. Clearly not in a flight path, albeit that Gatwick's not that far away. Marvellous. All the sheep are sat down, so if they're anything like cows, which they're not, could be an ominous sign. No rain forecast today. Another nice oast house conversion there. Point 13 of the text. Plaxtol Church, very pleasantly positioned. Memorial stone here, just in the road in front of it. Now, as you can see, lunchtime. I've just checked the map and there doesn't seem to be any other churches or chapels that would be appropriately positioned for my lunch. And I don't fancy taking it in Ightham, which is likely to be busy today. So this could well be my lunchtime stop if I can find a pew. Interesting, this church doesn't have a name, just called the Parish Church of Plaxtol. Very nice leather clad door though, never seen one like that before. But as I continue to say with our churches, everyone seems to be different. Aye aye, who's that? The ghost. Yeah. This church has a surprisingly large cemetery. Very ancient as well, as you could tell from the date on my previous clip. 1649 I think it was. And that chair over there looks as ancient. Certainly won't be sitting on that. But there are not a great deal of seats. In fact, I can only just see one other. And here it is. Has a degree of sunshine on it, so thank you, Keith Michael Broad. And somebody else as well. Gerald Clark. Interesting. Combined effort. And their chair or seat is next to this area reserved for the burial of ashes following cremation. Lovely. There's a reverend in there as well, I notice. Reverend Canon George Limbert, died in 1982. Right, it's about 10 to 1 now, so let's get lunch served. Okay, 1:30, lunch has been had, and whilst having it, I noticed these crocuses pushing up through the soil. So having seen snowdrops out in bloom already on the Otford to Ainsford walk 2 weeks ago, which isn't that far away from here, now I'm starting to see the crocuses come up. Loads of them in there. Must be the ashes. Something in the soil in this area anyway. Rather appropriate and amusing sticker here on the church cemetery gate. Having just left the cemetery behind up there. Walking up Church Lane now, and I think this wall is the start of the Fairlawn estate, which I believe we pass through in a minute. So having left Plaxtol behind us, now going to cross over this stile into the Fairlawn estate with its isolated gates over there, as mentioned in the text. You have been warned. Some rather pleasant views opening up here. The wind's picking up, as you may be able to hear. Hopefully my wind canceller's working though. What bizarre folly this is. Folly in the true meaning of the word. A gateway that goes nowhere. Whether it did in the past, is unknown. Certainly a tree-lined avenue there. Plaxtol Church, from whence I've just come. Nice lofty position, as is typical of our churches. Nice vista. The first of the yellow marker posts mentioned in the text. Can't see the second one yet, but continue on. Well, there's the reason why I couldn't see it. Knockdown line on the floor. Anyway, there is a faint path visible. Some nice redwoods there. I look back to Plaxtol Church in the distance there, next to this stile. You can see clearly the footpath, or the faint path across the fields. That's the gardens there to Fairlawn House. Hopefully we'll get an angle on it in a second. There it is. So there we have a better angle of Fairlawn. And another view of it in the sunshine there from the last of the yellow marker posts. Just next to my left here. Pond and buildings of the Fairlawn estate. Very pleasant it is as well. We're going to do a left here, as shown by that footpath marker over there. There's the wooden bridge referred to in the text, with clear footpath indicators. And again we turn right here, up the hill and away from the estate. But just having crossed the busy A227, we're now following this permissive bridleway through the estate. Point 17 of the text, going over the stile with the wooden step, the stone step, but it's no longer a stile, so you go through the gates. Some lovely scenery beyond it as the sun goes behind a cloud. Down this track ahead of us for 650 metres. Not too bad underfoot, nicely protected by these hedges on either side. Here we are at Ightham Moat, which at the moment looks like it's shut. Place I've been to a couple of times on a few walks and filmed on previous occasions. Could have had my lunch there, thinking back about it. Picnic tables up the back, and it won't be that busy today because it's shut by the looks of things. So I'm not going in that way. I'm going to continue with the walk, saving myself 600 metres or so. Down here I believe the onward journey is. Okay, there is it. Just confirming where we are. That cute little George letterbox. Previous walks we'd have turned left and gone up that way, but today we're continuing on right ahead with a better shot of the manor there. From another angle. Interesting to see beehive here in this mini orchard. All good stuff. Some views of the well manicured gardens at Ightham. And now we do hear jet noise. Interesting, so we're back in flight paths. Point 19 of the text. Turning left here along this potentially muddy bridleway, just in front of the cottage. There's a path or bridleway that I've walked a couple of times previously, though probably not in as sodden condition as it is at the moment. About 2:15 now for the timekeepers amongst you, so the Ightham lunchtime suggestion would be about bang on if it was open, and the other pub alternative would probably work as well, timekeeping wise, even including the fact that I started late today. So point 20 of the text. Ignore this permissive barrier and this permissive path beyond the barrier. Turn off right here. We're now following the green sand way, if we haven't already been doing so. Get a bit of focus there. Our good friend the green sand way, which explains why the route is so slippy underfoot at the moment. Green sand clearly visible there. So, having come out of the valley below there, we're now next to this small orchard, heading across open fields for about 900 metres. Notice that Chelsea have drawn to all of Brentford. Shame Torres equalised, but there you go. Interesting furnace there, middle of nowhere. Don't think it's an old residence either. Because of all the water and rain and snow and God knows what else, none of the winter crops are coming out yet, if they're going to come out at all. We could have a bit of a problem this year with food prices, because I say the ground's too sodden for anything to grow. What's in the soil is either rotted, well, most likely it's rotted, so we're going to be reliant on spring crops, which means no doubt bread will shoot through the roof in the summer. We must get more self-sufficient in this country, not become reliant on other countries for our bread, wheat. Point 22 and 3 of the text. There's the former public bridleway that will take you to the alternative lunchtime stop. Our onward route, I assume, is that green track there across the field for the main walk. Over there somewhere, I guess. Yeah, you got the remnants of a stile there, which lead to this footpath here, due west. Views back. the rather pleasant Lord Spring Oast conversion. Afternoon lunch. Field here gives you a good idea of how sodden everything is. We are in a valley bottom. I have walked along here previously in the reverse direction. All the horses well suited and booted. Oh, just opposite these stables here. Turn off this lane to follow the path into the wood by this public footpath marker. Point 25 of the text, walking through the wood. Plenty of rhododendron in here, taking over things. Makes it feel a bit like a jungle. 26 of the text again, reaching the black chainmail fence, continuing straight on, past tennis courts by the looks of it. Point 27 of the text, turning left to walk across the playing fields of Sevenoaks Prep School. Well, there's an interesting little memorial. Seating made from the oak that was felled here. Donated by the Levers of 2004. So you got oak benches. Lovely. I mean, if the oak had to come down, I'm not so sure that it did. Looks healthy enough there. But there you go. Anyway, onward journey's over there somewhere. Still point 27 of the text. So here we go, exiting the playing fields, which rather reminds me of Eton Rifles by the Jam. All that rugby puts hairs on your chest. What chance have you got against a tie and a crest? Yeah. Public footpath marker's actually here, not where I exited. So it's just there by the single marker post. Well, there's no marker on it, but the single post, as opposed to that top corner. Doesn't matter really, just being pedantic. Oh, I'll have to look out for these slow horses. Being moved by staff apparently. You just entered Knole Park. Don't take that path directly ahead. Take this one here on your right, 265 degrees. Not the immediate right. Now in Knole Park. Just stood next to this little pond here. Clearly from the setting sun you can tell which direction we're headed in. Onward journey's fairly clear towards the house. .31 of the text, I'm down in this little dip. This is a bit of the park that I haven't walked previously, so that's good. Not being a great fan of duplication. Some of Knole Park's deer. Native roe, I think, aren't they? Knole House, which is undergoing some refurbishment there. Yeah, that'd be about the right time, I guess. 3:45. House tea room is still open as I pass at 3:45. Just for the record. Point 34 of the text. By the clump of trees. And amazingly today, no parakeets. Must be too cold for them. They've all gone into the city for a bit of warmth. Quite busy with humans, eh? So I won't be hanging around too long. So 4 o'clock, back at Sevenoaks, and that was a delightful little 10-miler. Another one bites the dust. Pretty muddy walk though today, as you'd imagine, following snow thaw and rain last night. So
for your safety and comfort,
would be nice to do that in the summer when it's drier.
No smoking policy.
Anyway, book 1, walk 36 completed. Only 3 more to do now. And just to crown a lovely walk, Spurs have just been beaten by Leeds. Oh, happy days.